It's kind of a big weekend for the Big Orange Bob.
Mm-hmm.
We got spring practice starting tomorrow. Um, really excited, looking forward. We're going to talk a bit about what to expect out of to see this spring.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, man, NCAA selection committee tonight picks and decides where everyone's going to go. And after that rather sad performance the other day, I think we're a number 2 seed
Yeah.
almost assuredly. But boy, it took some wind out of these sails.
Yeah. Before that game, Tim, I was predicting Final Four appearance, and I thought we might even make it to the championship game. I had us losing in the championship game. That's far I thought we could go. Uh, we've got to. Somebody else has got to do something. Uh, you know, you can't have Piscovi not hitting nothing, James not hitting nothing. Uh, I don't expect a whole lot out of Gainey, but it's possible he could do something. Ziegler didn't shoot good. Actually,
Okay, yeah. Make
pretty
it
much
shorter,
everybody.
Bob, and just tell me
Everybody.
who did.
Nobody.
It's
Nobody.
like, no,
Nobody shot good.
it was horrible.
It was a horrible game. So I'm hoping that was just a bad matchup, and we don't see any of that a Mississippi State top team. Um, but one thing about it, we can't go. We're not going to be going in these like too confident.
No, no. If anything, maybe this is a wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing you can hope for.
Oh, yeah.
That you've embarrassed these guys a little bit and
Yeah.
you hurt their pride.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you look at this team on a good day and you see a team that could easily win it all,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see a game like yesterday, and I think one or two other games during the year, and you see a team that could be bounced the first weekend.
Yeah.
So,
But I'll say this: it can happen to anybody.
it can.
I mean, Houston got beat by 30 points. And they're locked in number 1 seed yesterday.
Yeah,
30
bad,
points.
bad team. I mean,
Yeah.
bad games happen. I
And
mean,
just
it's
about
basketball.
I didn't see the scores late last night, but just about every team that's in a 1 or 2 seed lost over the weekend. So it happened.
It does. I mean, you're dangerous if you get too high and too low emotionally coming off a single
Yeah.
win, a single
Mm-hmm.
game. But it's kind of difficult not to sometimes.
So I'm gonna pull you right back in, Tim. We're going back to the national championship.
National championship.
All right.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with the seeding. We'll be watching that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We need a good matchup. That's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
Let's see what our draw is.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into the big thing. It don't matter if you're, excuse me, guys. It doesn't matter if you're going to the Final Four or you're going to the College World Series, which very well may happen again this
Yeah.
year. This is always football time in Tennessee.
That's right.
And we got spring practice. So let's kind of talk about what the coaches are looking forward to over this next month or so, Bob.
Yeah, let's start on the offensive side of the ball, Tim. A little bit who's here, who's not. Kind of what are we looking for? What's the coaches looking for? What needs to happen? But some of the guys that won't be going through spring practice
At all.
at all. Peyton Lewis, I think Elijah Herring, I think won't be, and Brew McCoy. But let's talk about Tim's. Who's some guys on the offensive side who needs to have who the coach is going to be watching? Who are you going to be
Look,
watching?
I think everybody's going to tell you, look at that left guard spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've mentioned it before in other videos. We'll mention it again. And every video you put on between now and fall is going to talk about the left guard spot. And you've got a half a dozen guys looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm wanting to look at Lance Hurd coming in from LSU. Left tackle is where it starts.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically center is where it starts, but
Yeah.
I mean, left tackle, you got to be good at left tackle, and this guy has NFL potential. Let's see what his production is, though.
Right.
If he's good, this offensive line is going to be pretty good.
I think so. Yeah. I
If
agree.
he's not, we're going to be scrambling.
Yeah. Some other guys I'll be watching for transfer from Tulane, Chris Brazil. Is he what we thought Dante Thornton was going to be?
Yeah.
And I
or is he what Dante Thornton turned out to be?
exactly. Um, does Mike Matthews, Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, are they? Can they emerge and say, "Hey,
Hard for a
sooner
freshman.
it
Hard
is,"
for a freshman, but
but you
these
know,
two guys,
yeah.
dripping talent.
I just want to say one thing. I see some superstars at Florida. I mean, at Georgia and Alabama, places like that, jumping up there and being superstars right off the bat. I really believe we'll have somebody do it in this class that we're like, hey, where's this guy? I mean, this guy come out of nowhere as a freshman. He's going to be a star. Is it one of these two guys? Is it Fu Carter?
Uh,
Is it Jordan Ross? Is it one of those guys? But yeah, uh, what do those guys give you? I think those two guys are going to be really good.
if you're staying on offense, Bob, I think we need to look at something uh, tight end. I mean, we lost a couple of good performers for us last year. Warren had been here forever,
Mm-hmm.
um, like a coach on the field, and then Castles. I think he'll make some money at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not predicting superstardom for him, but I think he's going to be on some rosters
Yeah.
for a number of years. He's going to have a career
Yeah.
playing football. But we brought in a couple of transfers.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Kitzelman out of Alabama and Holden Stays from Notre Dame. Bob?
Kistleton, we won't really expect a whole lot out of him. He's probably a guy we hope we don't see because he didn't play hardly any at Alabama. I don't think a big offensive threat. Now Holden Stays from Notre Dame. We definitely want to see what he can do. Can he be a number one top tight end? And does Ethan Davis, does he finally live up to the hype that we have gave him? Because we think he's a superstar.
Yeah. And I don't think finally is the right word because he was only here last year.
I know. Yeah.
But considering we've been hyping him
For a whole year. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Since he's been here.
then finally might be suitable.
Yeah. I think the guy's a superstar. Man. He just got to stay healthy.
Got to stay healthy, man. He's Mr. Glass so far.
Yeah.
But love Ethan Davis though.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could just see Nico, Ethan Davis combo just lighting teams up.
Yeah. But yeah, those are some of the main things that I know I'm looking for on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, the depth along that offensive line. I want to see these young guys,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple of these freshmen. But, as the defensive side too, though, Bob, we got to have something in that secondary.
That's the big thing that we'll be looking at. There's no Walker now, no McCullough, no Haddon,
no Gabe Judalali.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
basically
anybody, man, that's played basically.
Basically a brand new secondary. Now I will say this: I think we will be a more athletic, faster secondary in general.
We will,
and I like our talent. Let's start at corner, Tim. Where are we going to be at there? You think?
Well, I think all eyes are going to be on the Oregon State transfer freshman All-American, Jamad McCoy, and he made some heads turn.
Yeah, I reckon. The little reps they do between then and spring practice, he's been impressive.
Yeah,
so
off season, he's lit it up.
Yeah. So they expect him to take one of those spots, and I kind of think he will. And then the other spot is freshman that was a freshman last year, Ricky Gibson, who I think is going to be a absolute stud. He's got the physical ability.
Yeah, played some last year and
kind of started toward the end of the year.
Yeah, two other freshmen, Bob, I think is going to be battling right in there though, and that's Jordan Matthews, Christian Conyers.
Yeah, freshman last year, sophomore, or redshirt freshman is probably.
Well, it depends. I don't know how much they play on special teams off the top of my head. I think it's going to be a battle, and of course you've got the other JUCO, I'm not JUCO, but transfer from Temple, Jalen McMurray.
Yeah.
They was high on him, then they cooled. They brought him in. He was a little smaller than what they thought. so
Yeah.
they cooled on them, and then I think they
Circle back.
circled back around when they didn't get another guy that fit their
Yeah.
specific window.
Yeah, they like a guy over 6 foot.
They do.
And there's a heck of a lot dang good corners that's 5'10", 5'11". You just
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd rather have the guy over here, but if you're a player, I don't care what your size is, you're a player.
yeah.
So those five are going to have an interesting battle. I think it's going to be one of the things to watch. But we got to look at star position. We got safeties, and I think we go Jordan Thomas at star.
If he stay healthy.
If he's another guy, if he can stay healthy.
I think he's one of our best defensive backs.
Yeah, and of course everybody's going to be watching the newcomer Boo Carter. He's thought to be starting at the star position to begin with.
Very fitting position for him because
he's going to be a star.
I think so. I mean, when you watch this guy, you just watched a little bit of. I watched a little video of him the other day going through some drills. His ability to accelerate, change direction, really elite. I mean, I think this guy's going to be a star for us.
He's different.
Yeah, he's different.
You can watch him just during drills and say
he is. I mean, just watch the drills with guys running. It's like, okay, who's that guy? And then Boo Carter.
I will tell you this much: if he gets onto the field and a ball goes his direction, he picks it out of the air, I'm going to stand up because I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, I think he's got some Eric Berry in him, man. I tell you, he's this guy. I could see him definitely taking some interceptions back for touchdowns because he's electric on the offensive side too, and he'll probably be our punt returner, kick returner this year. And at some point in his career, he's going to see some offense. I think he's that good a player.
Superstar in the making, like you said, Bob. He's don't matter what position.
Yeah,
he's star.
If you've not heard his name, write down Boo Carter because I think he's going to be a guy you're going to hear a lot of.
Yeah. But that's leads us over to the safeties. Mm-hmm. We lost a lot of snaps. I mean, virtually every snap over the last year. I mean, but that said, we brought in Jacoby Thomas, Middle Tennessee State. Mm-hmm. We're hoping he becomes a starter for us.
Yeah, I think they really want him to be a starter.
We got the, I think Christian Charles and Christian Harrison both slid over to safety, I believe. Mm-hmm. Big springs for these guys. They don't want to get lost in the mix.
Yeah.
Because it looks like Andre Turtine started turning a corner for us at the end of last season.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if he's not one of your safeties. We mentioned John Slaughter in another video.
Yeah, Slaughter has a ton of talent too. Yeah. The athleticism back there, I believe, is definitely on the way up.
Yeah, it's better.
But I mean, that's if it's only about getting the best athletes out there, coach's job would be pretty easy. Mm-hmm. So, big spring out of the safeties. I mean, the entire secondary. You mentioned earlier about Herring not coming, playing this spring.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of young guys there who's got to take that next step.
Yeah.
The new linebacker coach. I'm kind of watching him, the coach.
Yeah.
What's he going to get out of these guys this year?
Yeah. What's Aaron Carter does? What does T. Lander does? I think Carter may be a little banged up. I think he's going to go through most of the spring. What's T. Lander do? What's Caleb Perry do?
Big spring for Caleb Perry.
Yeah. Spielman, freshman, I think he's going to be in for spring. So
I'm looking. Don't forget. Don't sleep on Jalen Smith.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he came in last year, didn't play as much as T. Lander and Carter, but I think the guy's going to be a player for it at some point.
We've even got a walk-on last year. What was his name? Bob gave me right now. Jackson?
For some reason, some Bolton's popping in my head. But
I think you're right.
I think it's Bolton.
Yeah, sorry, guys. We'll figure that out. We'll have it for you next.
But yeah, they was happy with him. And I think they still got Quasi Garland. who's played some, I think, in the past. He's still on the roster, I think.
I believe you're right about that.
But he's on back down the list, so I think we'll be fine at linebacker. A lot of young guys, but we'll be watching this spring to see do they take that next step.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing with them. Looking forward. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
Now, there's another guy I'll be watching, see what he does this year. Uh, I- Caleb Herring, man. I know we got James Pierce over on the Leo spot, but Caleb Herring, I think he's right there, talent wise, with James Pierce. I mean, it's really, really close. He just needs to gain a little bit more size, and I've heard he may have gained, another 5, 10, 15 pounds. If he has, he's probably right there where he needs to be. I'll be curious, does he take Joshua Joseph's spot as the rabbit package? We might have two superstars there.
It is. It's a big spring for Joseph. He kind of had a sophomore slump, it seemed like, which probably just had more to do with less of a sophomore slump and more of Pierce.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Joseph, I think, is a very good defensive end. Leo, I just don't think he is a superstar, but I think most years we've been tickled to death to have Joshua Joseph as our.
Oh, well, I think he get a big guy makes a paycheck his own self. So
yeah, I think he will. I think we just have so much talent that
the Leo spot is dripping.
We mentioned Herring, got Jordan Ross coming in, future superstar.
Yeah,
future superstar.
Everyone's talking about him.
Jadavian Bradley.
Jadavian Bradley, yeah.
They say he's got the quickest get off of all those guys. He's just got to gain some weight. He's having a hard time gaining some weight. When that guy gains another 30 pounds.
Yeah, that's the issue. His ain't 15 pounds. It's probably 30.
He probably needs 30. And once he gets that 240, 250 range, watch out. This guy's going to be. I mean, we got some. I think
we have premier athletes at that Leo spot.
I would not be shocked if we ain't got at least a couple first-round draft picks
in that group.
I mean, that's how good we are.
And of course, everyone's going to be, looking at the other side, see what we can get out of that spot. But I'm kind of looking forward to see what we got out of the transfer from Stanford, Jackson Moy. Don't expect to see him on the football field like
in the fall.
That much. I think he'll be in rotation.
I think so. He will get play. Next year when you'll see a lot of him.
But this spring, though, is going to be interesting to see him because let's face it, I know Rodney Garner is going to push everybody. But that said, how much do you need to see Big O out there? How much do you need to see just about all the defensive tackles we got coming back? I mean, we're super deep.
Bryce Neeson.
Right. I mean, yes. I mean, they need to be out there. They need to jockey for position. But
we're as deep as any defensive tackle group in the country.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade our defensive tackles probably for anybody, probably. So, so Jackson Moore would just be simply trying to get in that rotation and getting better so that he can go in next year and be either a starter or a big-time contributor.
Yeah.
And what does I'll tell you another guy we didn't mention. We mentioned all these guys with talent. David Hobbs, 5-star.
Yeah. Might be the most talented guy maybe on that defensive line outside of Pierce. Maybe.
I know. I mean, that's how good our defensive line group is. Can he break into the 2 deep? I mean, that's how good we are at that spot.
Yeah. Big, huge spring out of him. I think he's going to take a giant step. And there's not often that, a year ago we had this same conversation of how deep our defensive tackles were because we got a 5-star defensive tackle, which happens how often in the last decade or so? Never. And we wasn't even really concerned like, is he going to get playing time? Because we had guys.
Right. Yeah, our defensive line can be nasty, sure. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we'll be as deep as any team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's some of the main things I'm looking at, Bob. Just mentioned a minute ago, I'm kind of looking for these 2 new coaches, too, though.
Mm-hmm. Those and one other player I kind of like, I'm going to be paying attention to is Jake Merklinger. He's hopefully doesn't get to play very much this year as the 2nd or 3rd string quarterback. But I think he's got a lot of ability. and hopefully he don't play because Nico's healthy all year long.
Right.
But
And I know we kind of skipped over Nico because everyone's, obviously, you just know automatic. That's the number one guy everybody's looking at
yeah,
going into spring.
yeah.
And
And I'll definitely be watching him a lot. Does he improve his accuracy? I think he had a little bit of accuracy problems early on in his career down there in the spring and first part. I think it kind of got better as the year went on. But his running ability, just everything he's got, all the
Scott's got other
pieces.
tools.
And we've seen a lot of those pieces
Yeah.
in the bowl game.
All he needs to do, continue to learn, continue to soak things,
Just grow.
put on 10 pounds. I mean, be yourself, Nico. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Improve daily. Don't worry. It's not like we're counting on you or anything.
Yeah, there's
No pressure.
No pressure. I mean, nobody's thinking you're going to be anything great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And believe me, no one will criticize you if you're not.
Right. You're just playing quarterback at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody ever criticizes those
The
guys.
quarterback.
Or even praises them or anything, So, yeah.
So, anyway, that's a lot to watch, I know, for the next 5-6 weeks. But I'm ready, Bob, for this.
I'm always pumped for spring practice, man. That's one of my favorite times. I get to hear about all these guys and, hear little tidbits about how well they're doing.
Well, it's kind of like when you buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
You think about all the ways you're going to spend that money until, the numbers get pulled.
Right.
And in the spring practice, you think about all the ways we're going to be undefeated and win the national championship until that first loss.
I mean, that's exactly it. Yeah.
So
everybody's going in undefeated.
that's right. Guys, thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate you. If you don't care, give us a like, subscribe, share it with your friends.
Yeah.
And, man, I hope that basketball team bounces back, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Until then, guys, go Big Orange.
Go Vols.